We are back. Peanut Gallery, you're talking about news. Let's get into it.
Yep, Sabu is going to the Indy Wrestling Hall of Fame, and Steve Corino is going to the Indy Wrestling Hall of Fame this week. So that's exciting.
There have been quite a few decent hitters for Hall of Fame. A lot of them ECW based.
Well, yeah, of course, because they're in Philadelphia for the actual
ceremony,
for the ceremony, and they're running 4 shows that week, and we'll talk about that when we get there.
Oh yeah, we absolutely will.
Ace Austin re-signed with Impact Wrestling.
Do you know the extent of the contract, how long it is?
No, but he did say a lot of interesting things about his future with Impact or with TNA. He does want to go after the world champion, so he probably has somewhere in his contract where he is stipulated to have those kinds of reigns. But I guess we'll just see what happens. But
it's not like the first time that he went for the world champion. He did that before.
No, but he actually wants to have a world title reign. I wonder if something like that is included in his contract.
Maybe. We'll see.
NXT Battleground moved date and location.
This is weird.
Yeah.
So they are moving to the, what is it called?
It's called the Apex, and that's the UFC venue that they have in Las Vegas, right across the street from their headquarters. The seating capacity is about 1,000 people, so it's interesting to wonder why they moved it there and why they're doing it in such an environment.
Given that it is Battleground, I wonder if they're doing that for a gimmicked pay-per-view.
I wonder what sorts of ideas they have. It sounds to me like they're almost testing something out.
Mm-hmm.
But that's all the information we have for now. Normally, Battleground was going to run up against All In.
Maybe that's why.
Not All In. Double or Nothing, and it was originally going to be in Savannah, Georgia. So
that's kind of interesting.
Yeah. So Matt Hardy, of course, he's making a lot of news recently because of his contract talks and with his appearance on WWE Raw a couple weeks ago. As of right now, he said that he did receive a contract.
I don't know if he's going to re-sign.
Right.
He might do a year-to-year because he probably wants to stay with Jeff.
Yep.
But Jeff has 2 years after, because remember, Matt Hardy signed in 2020, and Jeff Hardy signed in 2022.
Right, and it seems like at this stage in their career, no matter what's going on, I think Matt wants to stay with Jeff as much as possible. So obviously, when they're not together, there continues to be issues. There are issues when they were together too, but it just seems like it's way more exacerbated when the brother isn't there.
Right. I could see that, but at the same time, Jeff had that big arrest.
Yeah.
His last big arrest with AEW.
Yep, he did.
So it really just depends. As it relates to, Matt Hardy has really brought up a lot of grievances that he had with AEW.
Yep.
And Matt Hardy can be a valuable asset, but the problem is he wants to wrestle,
right,
but he does not have the physical capabilities at this point in his career to do so.
Right.
Now, could he be a good manager? Hardy's a good talker. Yeah. I think he could do something really cool with that.
Right. Even backstage stuff, and we've talked about this ad nauseum with AEW.
He has great creativity.
You have a lot of great assets at your disposal.
But the problem is that the inmates run the asylum.
Yep.
And yes, Sasha Banks is an asshole. You know you are, Mercedes. Don't bother denying it. We see the videos. We know how you think you are. You are not that special. In fact, you're a bitch. So,
anyways,
the problem is that all of the young people there, they feel like that their shit doesn't stink, and they have a problem. William Regal's brought that up. Frankie Kazarian's brought that up.
Yep.
They've all brought that up.
And they're all experienced in the industry. So it's like, okay, well.
It's like if I had William Regal, CM Punk, Matt Hardy, you know who I would be talking to every effing day about my character work, my in-ring performance.
Those people that have the experience.
Decades of experience.
Right.
It's a wealth. It's invaluable.
Right.
Kenny Omega.
Yeah, so Kenny Omega's news. He might have to go in for surgery. Did you hear about that?
Yeah, intestines.
Yeah.
How hurt was this guy?
I don't know. It feels like there might have been some sort of unknown or unforeseen condition that he had. That's what it sounds like.
Oh my God.
Yeah, he might be out for a little while longer.
Yeah, like I said, he's out indefinitely.
Right.
We don't even know if he's going to be returning to the ring anytime soon.
Right. So yeah, that's unfortunate. Jack Perry, so he recently did say that he requested his release, and
It was rejected.
it was rejected for whatever reason. And again, we talked about this too, and it's like, come on, buddy, let's. I don't know what's going on with Jack Perry, but he seems to be doing okay in New Japan.
Tony Khan is obviously pissed at Perry because he essentially lost CM Punk because of Perry.
Yeah.
But yet when Jack Perry requested his release, he didn't get his release?
Right. That doesn't make any sense to me.
Nothing about that makes sense.
No.
Nothing about that makes sense.
No. And he also disputed apologizing for the CM Punk fight as well. So apparently Tony said that he was sorry about it, but he did not. Apparently he's disputing that. So
yeah.
Who knows who's right in that situation?
AEW in general.
Yeah,
AEW
so
in general.
we talked about the COO. This is why I put that on there.
Oh, okay.
And we talked about the hiring and the description of the COO. We don't have to go over it a lot, but apparently there was a lot of that. The Rock's getting a lot of backlash for his language, I guess, or the freedom to utilize certain language that other wrestlers are not allowed to use.
Now, I'm assuming it's because I'm assuming the wrestlers are the ones who are having the grievance.
Yes.
Here is my theory regarding that, because I think they're really going to start trying to test the waters as it relates to becoming more edgy.
Because
the thing is, The Rock has the ability to not only execute it well, but he can take the heat.
Yes.
I don't think other wrestlers will have the pull that The Rock does.
And obviously The Rock is one of the chair people on the board for TKO. So yes, of course he has that freedom.
But it's also The Rock.
Yes.
And that's the other thing that I think, I'm not sure who's complaining about it.
I'm not sure either.
But there are competitors who are getting a little more edgy, a little more personal as it relates to it. So maybe with The Rock, they're like, let's lean more into it with Rock, because we know we're going to get the ratings, and see what happens.
Right. And the other theory too is that WWE is probably going to drop their PG rating when they move over to Netflix and become TV-14 again.
Well, yeah, because they're going to have more freedom on Netflix, because it's not a traditional streaming platform.
I wonder if they're rolling with that theory as well, where they're like, okay, well, let's see how edgy we can get before people start complaining.
Now what I'm worried about is Raw going to be the edgy one where SmackDown is not, because SmackDown has a lockdown on USA for right now.
Right. I don't know the answer to that question. WWE did announce a lot of shows for A&E.
There was the Bray Wyatt documentary.
There is. Gabriel Iglesias is going to be hosting, I think, Rivals.
Okay. That's very random, but sure.
I think that's what it was. Most Wanted Treasures is coming back.
It's a cool show. I recommend that, by the way.
So Gabriel Iglesias is replacing Freddie Prinze Jr.
Freddie Prinze Jr. was doing a show with WWE?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, on A&E, at Rose Rivals. It's going to be interesting.
Freddie Prinze Jr. also played Fred in the live-action Scooby-Doo movies.
Biography WWE Legends is also going to return.
I like that. I like that stuff too.
So a lot of not this month, in May. So a lot of things going on with A&E.
Sweet.
WWE Speed. We have more information on it. It's going to be on X, formerly Twitter.
I'm assuming they're doing the debut strategically right there, because the 4th through the 7th is going to be a little busy with wrestling.
Yes, especially WrestleMania weekend. So you're going to have a little bit of stuff on X. There is a championship. I don't know the repercussions for that. I don't know what that entails.
So Speed is, in case you don't know, Speed is essentially going to be a mini series on X. Mm-hmm. Where the matches are 3 minutes.
Yep, less.
Or less. That is the extent of it. So it's going to be a very fast-paced sort of content.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how that's going to work. I feel like that might get a little dangerous, but It is WWE, so I'm going to trust that they know what they're doing.
Yep. So Thunderbolt Patterson is going to the Hall of Fame.
We talked about this already.
We did?
Yeah, we talked about Thunderbolt Patterson going into the Hall of Fame. This happened a while ago.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, they announced Thunderbolt Patterson like 3 weeks ago.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I wasn't made aware of that until like I read the story.
We literally talked about it.
Oh, okay, well we can skip it. All right, so CM Punk is going to be the
Commentator.
the special guest commentator for both nights of WrestleMania.
So I thought he was only going to be the special guest commentator for the Seth Rollins McIntyre match.
I don't think that's the case. I think he's going to be there for the entire show.
Huh. Okay.
I don't know for a fact, but my implication was that he's going to be there for the whole show.
Well, maybe if you had notes.
Yeah.
Even though you have an iPad sitting in front of you.
Yeah, I know. John Cena is producing Next Gen.
This is cool.
Yeah.
Can you elaborate a little bit more on what Next Gen is going to be?
So, from my understanding, it's going to be similar to The Ultimate Fighter. That's kind of my impression. Is that
so like a Tough Enough almost?
Yeah, pretty much. But maybe a little bit edgier because it is, TKO. And I'm sure that they want to do something like this. And it seems like it might be a little less scripted as well. It's obviously going to be on Roku. So who knows exactly what.
Man, WWE is really putting a lot of flags in with these originals.
They are.
They're on A&E, they're on X, they're on Roku, they're on Peacock. I mean, they're
pretty much everywhere that you can imagine. I think
they're going to
want to increase their reach as much as possible.
Yeah, they're going to be on Netflix. They're going to be on traditional television. It's like, Jesus, man.
Yeah.
They're going to be on CW.
Yeah.
Good Lord. Like, these are like competing places.
Yeah.
And WWE is in all of them. I'm sure there's like, open the floodgates. There are no exclusives anymore.
Right. So Becky Lynch had a pretty extensive conversation over these past couple of weeks. I think it was on MMA Live or something.
It was with Ariel Hawani.
Yeah, it was. She talked a lot about a lot of different things.
So she has a new book.
Yeah.
I heard it was pretty good.
Yep. We talked about the book already, but
she said she had 2 months left on her contract with the E. She ain't going fucking anywhere.
Nope. She said that Seth Rollins also has 2 months left in his contract.
And he is not going fucking anywhere.
She talked a lot about Ronda Rousey because that was
that one I thought was interesting.
Yeah.
Because she said that WWE misused Ronda.
Yeah.
Now, in her first run, I'm going to disagree. But the second one, 100%.
Yeah. She was mishandled according to her, which I can agree with, especially with that second one. She talked about Mercedes Moné's contract. She said
I don't know what she said about Mercedes. I only saw snippets of the Becky Lynch interview.
Yeah,
because it was a long interview.
Right. She said that it's good that she's equal work, equal pay sort of thing, all that bullshit. Blah blah blah.
Very corporate.
Yeah, pretty much.
Got it.
All right, and then finally, we got to talk about Vinnie Mac selling more of his TKO shares.
He sold like $100 million.
Yeah, I think $106 million, if you want to be specific. But
I'm going to assume this is for the court stuff.
Yes, I'm thinking that he is being not coerced, but he is being highly encouraged to divest himself of as much TKO stock as possible.
Well, especially right now because it's an all-time high, and he clearly has other priorities.
Yeah, and he's not coming back.
No, I mean he's in his 80s,
right?
And
and of course if all this comes through and he has to go through the court system,
he is going through the court system. He's being investigated. They filed the stuff for that,
but he hasn't shown up for trial yet.
Well, no, there hasn't been a trial set because they're in the investigative process.
They're in the discovery phase.
Right.
So that's all I have as far as news goes for this week. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but we do have a website, and I have been publishing articles.
Link is in the description if you want to check it out. It's literally the first link in the description.
Cool.
So when we come back, it's going to be a very interesting topic that Peanut Gallery has no idea what we're doing.
Yay!